Speaking to the press during an annual session of China's parliament, the National People's Congress, the NPC as it's known, in March, one of the delegates there, Liu Li, made an unusual statement.
Due to long separations, many of the current wave of migrant workers have joined temporary marriages. It may surprise many to hear it, but it's very common among the group I belong to.
And Liu should know she herself is a migrant worker, the first to be chosen as a representative to the NPC, in fact. Her words sparked quite a bit of reaction, especially online, and the discussion continues today with regular media reports and commentary of the phenomenon. Recently, Xiandaijinbao newspaper reported in depth on the lives of temporary migrant worker couples in Ningbo, the city with the biggest migrant population in Zhejiang province. In interviews, some couples said they had initially just wanted someone to talk to, but gradually they grew closer emotionally over time. In some cases, they even divorced their former spouses. Others said they were just looking for intimacy, wanted to kill time or simply share living costs, but tried not to let it affect their family life and marriages back home. Well, to find out what the online community has to say about the situation, let's head over now to our researcher Esther Dung in the newsroom. So Esther, those are some explanations for why these marriages happen from that report in Ningbo at least. What sort of reasons have you seen from net users coming up with?
Well, first of all, I'll just give you some figures from China's Ministry of Health, which says that in the majority of cases, it's simply down to psychological needs. Statistics from the Ministry of Health claim that 80% of migrant workers in China feel they lack sexual satisfaction, which is understandable if you remember that most of these are relatively young single people. And this poster on iPhone.com agrees. It is due to physical needs and also due to psychological emptiness. And a poster from Beijing is a bit more poetic, but it's on the same page. A man is not a blade of grass or a tree, which don't require emotional release. While others feel the fundamental reason is separation over distance and time. Whatever the individual reasons behind the phenomenon, many posters feel the government also plays a role in the situation. Farmers are rushing to give up the land and migrate to cities for work. The result is abandoned land, left behind children, separation from spouses, disordered life, and unbalanced cities. Is this China's development direction? Farmland being turned into buildings and 1.3 billion people being fed on imported grain? The government needs to think this over carefully.
Right, now these are all causes or social effects to do with China's migratory population, this huge population of migrant workers. But to get back to this particular phenomenon, the temporary marriages mentioned by Liu Li, what have they to say about this? Do they support it, understand it, criticize it?
Okay, well, firstly, a poster named Mao Jianguo has this to say. Sure, these cases do exist, but we shouldn't over-exaggerate how frequent they are. And I have to say there are quite a few who voice disapproval of this temporary living-in relationships. This poster, 一份心情, argues, imagine if people in the whole of society did this. Where would the family responsibility go? Is there no bottom line for loyalty to the family? And a poster on 163.com worries about the effects on women in more conservative rural areas. Female migrant workers who are in a more vulnerable position may suffer more in a loose sexual partnership. And a poster from Jilin has another concern. Sure, the migrant workers' psychological needs may be solved by temporary marriages, but how to solve the same problem for the people left back in the villages? While this poster from Zhejiang calls on people to be more tolerant. This is a social situation. Even though you can't accept it, what can you do? A married person should be mentally prepared for this possibility. And this poster on iPhone.com is okay with it too. Putting aside moral considerations, I don't see anything bad about this. And Yang Qinghuan also has a live and let live attitude. Everyone has sexual needs. As long as the sexual behavior doesn't hurt others or the society, I'm totally supportive.
Okay, regardless of whether it's accepted or not, I suppose it could hardly be described as an ideal situation. Are there any suggestions for how things might be improved?
Well, this unrealistic poster simply asks migrant workers to go back home, saying they may live a frugal life being a farmer, but they are with their family and countryside life is good for health. But this more helpful remark from a poster on Sina.com.cn is a more typical response. The ultimate solution is to raise farmers' income, who really want to live apart from their family and hometown. And this poster from Guangdong is more specific about how to raise income. Raise prices of state grain reserves and other agricultural products to improve returns for farming. And 渴望蓝天 777 adds, more support can be given to small and middle-sized enterprises in the rural areas so they can work close to their hometown. And Chimo on Sohu.com has another government-related solution. The government could approve appropriate family leave to migrant workers and reimburse their travel expenses. And Liu Li, who first exposed the problem, suggests providing affordable housing or cheap renting to migrant workers to avoid separation, which is supported by Yang Tao. He remarks, apart from housing, household registration and education can also be considered. Finally, we have Gu Zhongyang, who suggests working skills of the people left behind can be raised through training so that the couple can work in the city together. The city should also accept their family members and create better living conditions for them.
Okay, thanks for that, Esther. And that was China Take researcher Esther Deng with online reaction to that phenomenon of temporary marriages amongst China's millions, tens of millions of migrant workers. Next up on China Take, some of the top trending phrases on China's most popular search engines.